Okay, welcome to Graphing with Google Sheets. I'm going to show you today how we can use a nice blank Google Sheets that I have open here to make a graph of this data here. This data is from an activity from our lesson 21, activity 3, task 3, concentration and reaction rate. So we're getting you to practice recognizing variables and doing a graph from this data. So what I'm going to do is we read through it. We've got a student did an experiment in which she added 20 mils of hydrochloric acid, which of different concentration. So it's not the same concentration. A, B, and C are obviously different concentrations. To 5 grams of metal X in 3 different test tubes labeled A, B, and C. She measured the temperature of the reaction mixture in each test tube every minute for 15 minutes. So you can see we've got time for 15 minutes here. And these values in here are the temperatures. Okay, we need to remember that because that is not labeled here. And that is something we're going to need to add to this table. So I'm going to do the first half of the table, going from 0 to 7 minutes. I'm going to copy that and then bring it over and I'm going to paste it in my sheets. Then I'm going to do the same with the other side. Click, drag to highlight. So if you don't know that, you click and you hold down. Click, keep my finger down on the cursor, keep the click down, and release to select all that. Control C to copy, and over the other side, putting it right underneath, Control V. Okay, excellent. So next thing I want to do is I need to fix up that header row. This information here doesn't have a heading. So we're going to go to here where number 1 is, and insert. And we want to insert a row. Notice that cells and columns are blocked out because I've already selected that entire row. So it's intuitively thinking you want another row. I want it above, so I can put a label above these three columns that this is the temperature of the reaction. I'll just check that's what they said. Temperature, yeah, of the reaction mixtures. So here, that's telling us that all those numbers down there is a temperature. Before, without that label up there, it's very easy to think that that's actually a concentration. And it's really important you label your table as well. And we put degrees Celsius. Can't remember if I can add in. I can do emojis. No. Always the one thing I can't do is degrees Celsius in here. So the trick is do it here. Temperature, insert symbol, special character. I always just draw it, find it. Is that degree sign? Degrees. Perfect. Right, and I'm just going to write degrees Celsius here. There we go. That's sometimes the easiest way to do things. Let's just copy it from somewhere else. All right, so we've got our concentration A, our concentration B, our concentration C, and M stands for moles per litre. Okay, I think I'd also just like to add in here one more thing, H, C, and a little L. So we know it's HCl concentration. There's better ways of writing this. Now, there's a trick, and I wonder if it'll work here. If I click on this, the label's just one letter different. Will it know how to change that? No, not this time. I have too much stuff in there. So hydrochloric acid concentration B and hydrochloric concentration C. Okay, so I've got my nice headings. I'm really happy with that now. And so I might also merge this cell. You don't always have to, but you can. Go up to my option merge cells. You can see there's lots of different merges. You can unmerge them if you've merged the wrong things. Merge vertically means the cells vertical of each other get put together. Merge all is if you want like a whole stack merged together. And it's good for labeling like this when you want that information. You need something to go across more than one row or more than one column. You can also find this in format, and that's where you see more merged cells, font size, and lots of other things that you can change. So say you want to rotate your text, you can do that as well. Yeah, I recommend when you get a chance to play around with see what you can do on these things. Just go, oh, okay, that's where those options are. It's really good to go through and read them all and familiarize yourself with what you can do, because that's how I've learned. So the next thing is we have an extra obsolete row here. So I'm going to click on that row and I'm going to go edit, delete. Okay, delete row 11. I could also just delete the values. You can also right click on that and also delete it that way. So right click brings up a lot of the basic tools you need. And lastly, I'm going to make all this centered because I just like it like that. Oops, cancel. I didn't do that. Wrong button. Also, if you ever make a mistake, there's back buttons. These are amazing. Control Z saves your life sometimes. So if you don't know Control Z and you make a mistake on something and you want to go back, that's generally one you can do. I've even done it to a deleted folder once. I can't promise that works all the time, but there you go, little tidbits. Okay, so we have our table. It looks nice now. I've got my independent variable of time down here. I've got my temperature, and each temperature has a different concentration of acid. Okay. The reason I like to label these things well is because when we do our graph, these applications, they are much more intuitive now, and they will recognize that these are headings and that this data goes under this heading, etc. It also will recognize that then this is our x-axis label for our independent variable, and that's our y-axis label. And if it doesn't, we can fix that anyway. So I'm going to go and highlight the whole table. I'm going to insert, because I want to add something in, and I'm going to insert a chart. So we don't use the word chart very much here, but it's a graph. That's how we would call it, a graph. It is called a chart, and as the software is American. So they're terms for things. Now, these are not the best labels, and this is the next thing. You notice time got down the bottom, excellent, but we don't have the units for this side, so the labeling units here. And on my right-hand side, you can see the chart editor. So we've got the setup, we've got the right data range, we've got our 3 series. If for some reason your series, you do your tables long ways, where the first row is your independent and your second row is your dependent variables, use this one, switch rows and columns, that can help. Okay, and use column A as labels. Yep, that's all the numbers here. Actually, yeah, you need that. Oops, now what have I done? Row 1 as headers, yeah. Okay, so we've seen that. So I've got all my data here. I can also change the type of graph it is if I want, say, I want it to be more of just the dots, the line. So that's the type of line graph. Oh, wait, let me change it. Anyway, customize is what we want. So chart style, we can change all sorts of bits and pieces there. What we want is our axis titles. So our chart title, that is not the chart title. It is temperature of reaction by 3 different, by, under, by. I might come back with a better one. Okay, I've written HCl. Let's say from, using. Now, that looks still quite big. It's going to be long. They should be long, guys. They're meant to be descriptive. Why is temperature there now? Oh, I totally stuffed it up, didn't I? You know what? When all else fails, just like delete and start again. Right. Don't play with the buttons this time. Customize. This is all I really need to do. Come up here. I want to customize. You can also just come to this and double click. And this is Temperature of hydrochloric acid reacting metal X and actually, you know what, the labels here should be self-explanatory. Different X, different okay, we don't need full stop. Next thing we need, we've got time at the bottom, but we need temperature on the side here. So let's look vertical axis. Minimum, maximum, source, that's fine. What I want is label. No, I don't want the label font. I want to put a label in. Chart and axis titles, here we go. Should be able to, that's our horizontal, oh here, that's where you click it. So over here, customize, chart title, subtitle, horizontal axis, that's fine, vertical axis. Because it's missing, you do need to come into this bit to find it. Chart, axis titles, click on the horizontal axis and change to vertical. And it's like, oh, you don't have one. Well, now I do, I will have one. Temperature, and oh, what did I say, degrees Celsius, but you know what, I can't get it from there. Let's just copy this again. Control C for the win again. There we go. There's probably a better way, but this is just showing you how to graph. Okay, so we've got temperature, degrees Celsius. Now that's turned up here, we're happy. The only other thing I would change about this whole graph, everything else looks really nice. This is our legend, it shows you which line's which, but it's just, yeah, starting at 0 is just too, it's making it too packed. So I'm going to go to the titles, series, legend. Here we go, the vertical axis, that's what I want. This is where you can actually change the value. So I'm just going to change my minimum value and let's make it 15. Let's really zoom in on the changes here. And then, you know, our maximum's 22. That's perfect. You can see a lot more. Even maybe we could do 16. What's the minimum? It's like 18. Oops. There we go. So even there. So we can actually just see really clearly the lines and how they've deviated here. Interesting. So that's my graph. And now I can use this graph to put back, I can just literally copy and paste it and put it back in my other document. That's all there is to it. But if you have any questions, pop them below and I can respond. Or if you're in my class, comment on Google Classroom to ask me some more. I hope that helps. And literally from here, you can, if I copy my chart and I want to say put it in here, I would then go here and I will go Control C, Control V, and I can link it. So I can make, I go, oh wait, I forgot I made this error, and you can go back and edit this, and then it will actually edit the file. You can refresh the graph here and it will fix it if there's any changes. So I always like to do that. But there's my graph, and that's what you do.